Good evening, my friends. This is the Grimflayer, and I hope you're all doing well tonight. Back here to carry on with the games in our competitive league here. We're holding an L. We racked up a notch in the L column with a tough match against Is It Phoenix. We seem to be ahead all three games, so to have lost the match against what I consider to be a favorable matchup, even though we were in it, yeah, that's doesn't feel great, right? Was not really a match that I felt likely to have lost, but we did lose it. So here we are at the old 500 mark, one-on-one. Our opponent's on the play. They're going to mull. I think we've got a keeper on our hands. Yeah, let's keep this. We've got a lot to do. If it's a creature matchup, we've got turn 1 Fatal Push, if that seems good. Well, Cavern of Souls seems like creature deck of some kind to me. Okay, so they're going to go Cavern and pass. That makes me... I was going to say that makes me want to play the Hissing Quagmire, but now I think we can afford the... I think we can afford to just run out our swamp here. Yeah, I really want to kill whatever they play next turn, and then play a threat on turn 2. So, opponent went Scry to the bottom, which might become relevant. If they were on one land, we could have assumed they're digging for a land, but we cannot really assume anything anymore. Noble Hierarch, sure. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and push this, even though it's not the most threatening. It's going to slow them down nicely. We draw a Tarmogoyf, which is good, but I think I'm going to play the Confidant here. Our hand is full of all kinds of gas. We really want more of it. And we are not getting clocked at all yet. So I think the power of the cards in our hand, we want to keep hitting land drops so we can have double spell turns so we can get the tracker going. I think these are all incentives to play Bob over Goyf at that particular juncture. Although, you know, playing the Goyf is never really wrong. Never really bad. Opponent is having to retap their mana. For blue-white, is this a Meddling Mage? Yes. Will they name Fatal Push, even though they've already seen one? Or perhaps because they've already seen one? Yes, they will. Okay, well that's pretty good for them, but we've got a million other forms of removal. We'll reveal an Assassin's Trophy, huh? Okay. So... Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to trophy that mage. I think I'm cool offering the trade here. This is a 2-for-1 if they take the trade. And if not, we get our damage in. Alright, no trade. Playing Tireless Tracker is actually pretty tempting here because it's mana efficient, and if it gets bounced by like a Reflector Mage, I actually don't care that much because then I can just, you know, start deploying some Tarmogoyfs. So, I think I like the Tracker here. Maybe I should be, you know, deploying these Goyfs more aggressively, but if Bob's sticking around, we want to be as mana efficient as possible so we can have, again, those double spell turns. It's possible that I'm being too cute, though, and we should have just jammed a Goyf by now. That said, the Goyf doesn't look like it's going to grow to more than a 3-4 yet. We don't have any other card type in our hand that's not already in the yard. Another Meddling Mage here. This one's going to name Trophy, so this could get interesting, but they can't really attack if they want to maintain the Meddling Mage lock. And if they're not attacking, we are going to just bury them. Yep. Trophy. It is. Alright, as long as this Bob isn't too painful, another Fatal Push. Well, okay. That's not great, but... yeah, we're going to send them both across. Alright, well, we're actually well ahead in the race. Again, a card like Reflector Mage could potentially swing that a bit, but this is why Meddling Mage is not spectacular against us, because even though they've got the power lock going, like they blind named the right card the first time and then they had the knowledge to name the correct card the second time, none of this is actually accomplishing all that much because they're just kind of grizzly bears that can't really trade well with our threats, and until now. Admittedly, Thalia's Lieutenant is a pretty good way around that, but we've got this Goyf that's a little bit too big for them to attack into, right? So they're also taking some significant pain from this Horizon Canopy. So it's still looking pretty good for us. Again, we don't want to take too much damage from our Bob. There's a Tarmogoyf. Yeah, this is an interesting spot. So I think we definitely want to be the aggressor here still. Obviously, Bob no longer attacks well. But I think we do want to turn both Tracker and Tarmogoyf sideways. At this point, any trade that they care to make is fine with me. And if they don't make a trade, well, then we are probably going to be in a decent position regardless. But let's see what they do. Yeah, they can't really afford to make a trade, can they? So I actually think playing Tarmogoyf is better than Liliana of the Veil right here, so I will crack a clue, get an extra point of damage through, and maybe find something else to do with our turn. Another Bob. Not very good, but... Alright, so we've been clunky. We've been locked out by the Meddling Mages, which should never really happen to our deck, but it has. We haven't hit the subsequent lands off to really get Tracker going. But as I was just about to say, we are still so far ahead that it shouldn't matter. So that was a bit of an anemic start from our humans opponent. Again, Meddling Mage, very strong card, but against us, you just saw its limitations. We don't care that much about it most times. So, onto the sideboard we go. Humans is a deck that is definitely still around in the meta, but not quite the force it once was. I haven't seen it all that much lately. We do like to respect our life total here to a significant degree, so I think Thoughtseize can come out. I'm seeing the Spellbomb that doesn't do anything either. We're probably interested in trimming away at some number of Dark Confidant, maybe one Liliana, maybe a Tireless Tracker or two, things like this. We've got a lot of maybe cards. Otherwise, we want everything that kills things. Inquisition is still fine, and all of the other threats are better than the ones we're considering taking out. Tracker's a bit too slow, Confidant's a bit too painful and undersized. So, excuse me, something like this is looking fine. Right away, we've got 3 kill spells we're going to bring in. Brutality, Deathmark, Languish. Engineered Explosives is also in that category. Kitchen Finks is good enough to block up the ground. Maelstrom Pulse as well as another kill spell. So, is there anything else that we're really super interested in with our current configuration? I don't really see all that much. Yeah, so it becomes a question of which 3 cards of these 9 do we want to keep. Well, Spellbomb does nothing. We can cut that. I think I like the Thoughtseize as the least of what remains here. So we need to make 2 cuts. Oh, interesting. I think Dark Confidant, I'm happy to cut one on the draw. Liliana's, of course, worse on the draw, too. What if we think that Tireless Tracker is fine on the draw? Obviously, it's slow, but it's slow no matter what. So let's cut away the stuff. Let's cut away 1 each of Bob and Lily there. And call it good. And then if there's a game 3 and we're on the play, I'm interested in potentially bringing back that 3rd Liliana, maybe a 2nd Dark Confidant as well. I think something like that is reasonable. Now, this is an interesting decision here because we basically have 3 turns to draw a land before it becomes bad that we didn't. And this hand's got an extremely high payoff if we do draw a land. Now, the Scoozes aren't great without... Even if we draw 1 green source, they're not going to be that effective. But man, turn 1 Fatal Push both Lilianas. I think this is a hand with a high enough upside to keep. And you know, it's not that risky. It's a 2-lander, right? It's a 2-lander. We can play something on turn 1, which I think we're going to just Fatal Push this Noble Hierarch. Okay, Field of Ruin, not a very good land to see, but at least we are not going to be totally locked out, totally stuck on 2. So, yep. We just gotta slow him down there, push the Hierarch, hope to draw some better lands, frankly, but... Okay, that's not great for us. We had an opportunity to really punish them for a slow start, but now we don't, and we might have to just take next turn off too, which is pretty poor, but, you know, again, our... Ooh, Thalia's a tough one for us in this particular spot. Alright, Swamp. Little bit late to the party. If they had anything but a Thalia there, we would be in business. So what? I guess we're just going to field them now. They're not going to be able to use that mana for anything right now. And bluffing is fine, but it's not really that high value to me. So let's just fix our mana right now. This way we won't give them... Another land, we also have the really low percentage chance upside. That they had some basics in hand and we could have wastelanded them there. Actually, for that reason, we should have draw-stepped our field. Should have draw-stepped the field. That's alright. If they don't have Athalia's Lieutenant here, we can cleanly Last Hope, tick up, kill the Thalia. Next turn, it's going to be amazing. So we need to fade Thalia's Lieutenant. They cast Athalia's Lieutenant. Oh well. No blocks. Alright, so we're in business. We're in business with our lands. I think we just play Liliana the Veil. Edict away. Like, anything we edict is fine here. They're gonna sacrifice the Thalia's Lieutenant. We can't have a double spell turn no matter what we do, so... And I don't think we want to run the Last Hope out into a sure death. She's too good. We're going to take over the game with her. So, yep, we'll play the Lily of the Veil. We'll Edict. Yeah, they had a pretty good sequence for being kind of stuck on one land and starting a little slow. The Thalia tax was quite relevant. in terms of letting them have a turn to keep our last hope at bay, and then that in turn allowed them to buff their Thalia out of clean +1 range. So, but Lily, you know, we're still doing it. Phantasmal Image for Noble Hierarch. Okay, so do they finish off our Lily here, or do they hit us for 5? They're gonna hit us for 5. All right. All right. So, we can Inquisition and play a Tarmogoyf. Doesn't do much. I mean, it's a body, but it doesn't block. It just chumps. So maybe for that reason we could Inquisition and play a Skooz and prepare to chump with it. I don't know how good that is going to be. I think we should... Inquisition here, though. It's probably wrong not to. We don't have a Field of Ruin target. We can't make double green even if we wanted to do that. Alright, let's Inquisition first, and then we'll decide. Okay, so they've got a ton of good value, and next turn they're going to be able to cast just about any of it. Sin Collector will blank, so we're going to leave the Sin Collector there. This and Kitesail Freebooter will blank as well. They cannot make red for Mantis Rider, so I guess we're taking a Reflector Mage and hope they kind of blank on lands. That might be the correct take anyway, but Mantis Rider makes the clock a lot scarier. But yeah, we'll take Reflector. We'll tick the Lily up before we do anything else. Interesting question of, I guess we just pitch a Skooz here. Okay, there goes their Freebooter, so... do we just play our Goyf and plan not to block? Then we're going to stabilize behind the Goyf next turn? Or do we play our Skooz and plan to throw it away? I think it's Goyf. This Thalia with the double Exalted in the first strike. Not loving it. Ooh, oof. The Lieutenant. Yep. Alright, and she's coming at us, huh? Yeah, I mean, I think we take the hit one more time. Inquisition. Okay. Still cannot double spell with our Liliana the Last Hope, which is pretty bad. And now our, even if we kill off both Hierarchs, our Goyf can't block the Thalia. Oh, yes, it can once we get a Planeswalker in the yard. Sure, so let's Edict. And let's Last Hope. Remember, that's a phantasmal image, so it will be sacked. Alright, now we can't Inquisition due to the Thali attacks, but we might, just might, be able to stabilize behind this Goyf and this Liliana. We're still at a very low life total, that's our problem, so if they ever find the lands they need... Oh, and they do right on cue. Man. Okay, here comes Mantis Rider, we're gonna go to 1. Pretty dead, I suppose. But, you know, or maybe they'll go for a Sin Collector. I don't know. I hope they do. They could also play Mantis Rider and just kill our Lily the Last Hope if they think that's better. Yeah, here's the Rider. Here's the old Mantis Rider. And they do go for the Last Hope. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we just literally needed them not to rip a multi-land that turn. But that's kind of the one thing we had going for us this game, is we were able to disrupt their land base, but not well enough, it seems. So this is pretty bad. I guess we still Inquisition, take away the Sin Collector, but the Sin Collector isn't doing all that much for him, but we still want to take it away. The alternative is to field the Cavern and have a green mana for Scavenging Ooze. Huh. Then they probably cannot cast the Sin Collector next turn anyway. So maybe that's actually what we do. And we'll pass. Still obviously need to draw a kill spell for the Mantis Rider next turn or we're dead, but hey. Eat the Lieutenant. Go to 2. Okay. There's the old Assassin's Trophy, huh? So I guess it's worth Inquisitioning now for sure. Take away another Mantis Rider. That is the clear take. And we'll just pass again. Alright, again, you know, we're at too low of a life total to realistically expect to win. And there's a land, so they get to play the Whirler Rogue now. Two untapped artifacts you control. Target creature cannot be blocked this turn. Alright. Yep, that's the right play, because now we need to... Oh, now we're just dead. Because of the Thali attacks. Dang. Yep, we are just dead. So if we gain 3 life, go to 5, we're dead. If we trophy away the Thalia, gain 1 life, we are dead. Well, we're going to show them how close we were to stabilizing. Eat a Mantis Rider out of spite. And we'll get hit for exactly lethal. So, yep, Humans is really good at closing out those games when you stabilize with your back to the wall at a pretty low life total, right? They're pretty good at getting there. So we're on the play. I'll bring back a third Liliana on the play. We'll lose a Tireless Tracker for that. Otherwise, considering the third Confidant, but I think 2 might be the sweet spot, to be honest. It's a toss-up. I mean, you don't want to draw multiples of Confidant. You don't really want to draw multiples of Tracker either. So, like, you can leverage exactly one pretty well, but multiples is rough. I mean, Confidant looked great in Game 1, but remember they put us under no pressure, right? No pressure to speak of. Yeah, I like the look of this. Alright, they had a lot of little things kind of go their way that game, but it was a good game. And they got us, and we will play first. Let's hope for a good hand. This hand is fine. It's very clunky, but it's fine. We'll keep it. Really want to see them mull down. That would be great. That would be great if you'd go ahead and mull down to Oblivion for us, my friend. No such luck. Hissing Quagmire, pass to you. Ancient Ziggurat for white, champion of the parish. Sure. Okay, Forest is a good draw. And I'm just going to be mana efficient and kill the champion with a Brutality. If I had a turn 2 threat, I would have considered playing that instead. However, that is fine. We're really going to try to set up a 2-for-1 with a Maelstrom Pulse here. That would be amazing. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Sure. This is an interesting spot. So we could Fatal Push her and play an Overgrown Tomb tapped. We could shock in and play a Brutality, or we could shock in and play a Finks. I'm actually not necessarily in love with the idea of Finks just because her first strike is obnoxious. Fatal Push is going to be interesting as well. Fatal Push is probably more likely to trigger Revolt later on in the game. Maybe Tireless Tracker getting us some clues so we can get Revolt going. So my judgment call here is to Brutality away this Thalia. Gotta shock in for it, though. This is bad if they have another Thalia. Otherwise, I think that's a fine play. For that reason, I often kind of like to leave the Thalias alone if I can, but I don't know if I really can here. I don't know if I had a better line. Interesting games so far, my friends. Whatever happens, they've been interesting. Auric champion. Okay. Yeah, this is great. Swamp was a good draw there. We can go Tracker into Swamp, hold up Fatal Push. They're going to gain some life, but it's fine. We're going to get some clues. That's better. And the champion is pro-black, pro-red. So we care about pro-black. We can't push it, but our green stuff can tangle with it pretty well. Noble Hierarch. Yes. Mayor of Avabrook, yes. Alright, I'm going to push the Mayor. And Mayor's Anthem doesn't really change the combat math here, whether they want to attack or not, because they can become big enough to take down the tracker just with Exalted. So let's push the Mayor so we take 1 fewer point of damage, but I'm not going to take the trade here. I'd much rather trade with Kitchen Finks next turn. We drew Deathmark. That's a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one. So, but I really want to crack a clue here. I really want to get out of control with this Tireless Tracker. We can always just Deathmark if we blank on the clue. I think this is the high upside play, though. Let's roll the dice, draw a card. Hope for a land. Or a 2-drop. Oh, the reward. The reward. Verdant Catacombs. Love it. Love it. So we'll attack before we do anything else. Let's not get too excited here. And now it's Sphinx time. Man, that was a good turn. And we've got some good gas in our hand. We've got some good gas on the field. Feeling alright. Feeling alright. Ooh, Dismember on the tracker. That's a good one. That's very good for them. And here's a Mantis Rider, sure. So they get in the air for 4. But we get to answer that Rider. And we get a Tarmogoyf. Great. So, what do we like doing here? So we can crack a clue. It's probably what we want to do first, because if we whiff on the clue, we can just Deathmark the Rider, play a Tarmogoyf, and then we're still holding out for the 2-for-1 on Pulse. So yeah, let's get a clue cracked here. Assassin's Trophy is a good draw. Time to turn our Fink sideways, at least for 1 turn. We do have to keep a clock going as best as we can, even though we have to play conservative with our life total, even though they're gaining life with the Auric Champion. We can rely on the Tarmogoyf to block this turn unless they've got a Reflector Mage, which it looks like they may. They do. That's good for them, but still, we're still okay. We just can't have chains of Reflector Mages, you know, taking us down, basically. But we're still at 11, that's still fine. We've got the Finks. Inquisition. Well, they've only got 1 card in hand. I guess it's now or never on the Inquisition, right? So, let's start with that. Whirler Rogue, that's a tilt. That's a tilt. Alright. Yeah, I don't really like pulsing. I don't really like trophying here. I think I just like cracking a clue. Another Tarmogoyf. Alright, we're just passing, holding up trophy. Blocking with the Finks. Man, of all the cards they could have in their hand, that Whirler Rogue was a rough one. So I guess we're just going to trophy this stupid thing away in response to its ETB. Because we can't have those Thopters making everything unblockable all game. Not with 2 Tarmogoyfs coming down the pipeline. Man, that Whirler Rogue, though. Yeah, what a good last card to have in hand for them. I'm actually going to take this block. I don't mind getting my Finks a little undersized here. I just don't want to let my life total get too low. These Thopters are an annoyance. Overgrown Tomb. Yeah, like going Goif Goif land is soft to... I'm behind on the clock. Alright, I'm just going to play some stuff out. Yes, always yield, always yield. Very behind on the clock, and, you know, I didn't think these games would necessarily go that long, so I've been taking the sweet time, but... Might wanna get on that. Oh, we might be at a point now where pulsing these noble hierarchs is actually a very reasonable thing to do. Alright, Inquisition. I mean, sure, I'll try it again. Maybe it'll work this time. Land. Okay. So it's either pulse the hierarchs or the Thopters. Kind of like pulsing just the hierarchs here, to be honest. And for now, I think we just attack with one Goif. Next turn with Hissing Quagmire as a potential blocker. Maybe we can send both in. Whirler Rogue is OP, huh? Yeah, I mean, it's time. Verdant Catacombs was a bad draw. They're on the dig. They're on the dig. Okay. That is the Sin Collector. Yeah, bud, you got it. Time for you to finally whiff on a discard effect. How's it feel? How's it feel? I'm going to trade here with my Quagmire. Alright, come on. Ooh, Tireless Tracker. Alright. Yeah, I guess we still send them both. Obviously, we'll not be cracking this fetch unless we absolutely need to. Let's hope for no Insane Gas, and that qualifies as Insane Gas. The Thalia's Lieutenant. Major yikes, major yikes. They gain a life, they get to Anthem the board. Not good. But it looks like they just want the chip for 2, which makes sense. Alright, crack a clue. Fatal Push. Fatal Push means I think I should fetch here. And then we push the Sin Collector to be mana efficient. Okay, Verdant Catacombs. So we begin by cracking a clue. More removal, more removal. Field of Ruin. We'll play the field because it means we're not dead to just the Thopters. Let's crack another clue, another Fatal Push. Alright, they should just be dead on board. I guess they were anyway, but now they should be extra dead on board. Alright, so any two things get through and we win. I don't know what they could have, but I think I'm supposed to turn them all sideways. We got them. Alright. Alright. Man, these games against humans, you know, I know that a lot of people don't... I shouldn't say a lot of people don't love the humans deck. It's probably less complained about than most top-tier decks, I guess, but... You know, the humans matchup is very oppressive if you're on a deck like Ad Nauseam, for example, and it's just like, oh, you've got Disruption on a stick, and you've got Meddling Mages to totally lock me out of my game plan, and if I manage to try to get going anyway, you're taxing me with Thalia, and plus you've got a quick clock. Very bad. You know, Storm players, a lot of combo players might feel the same way, but you know, humans versus Golgari. These matches, while they can be tough, they feel a lot like Magic as intended. What's the meme? Magic as Richard Garfield intended. Said unironically in this case, right? Wonderful, epic feeling Magic. Creature battling. Lots of meaningful interaction on both sides of the table. Really grindy, can be really swingy, plays out a million different ways. I like it. And that Whirler Rogue was a huge MVP for them, so, you know, you see some spicy tech like that from time, excuse me, to time. But at the end of the day, my friends, we did get there. We had some nice sequences here in Game 3. We drew the Fatal Pushes at the end off of these tireless tracker clues when we really needed to. How sweet was this tracker? How important was our decision, by the way, to roll the dice on a clue? Remember that turn where in the mid-game, we had 4 mana open, and we could have basically Maelstrom pulsed something, I think. I don't remember exactly, or we could say, well, let's try to crack a clue. Oh no, we could have played Kitchen Finks. Excuse me, that's it. We could have played Finks. Or we could have cracked the clue, tried to draw land, and if we draw land, we play the Finks. And if not, we do something else. We drew a fetch land, we got to make 2 clues and play our Finks, and the game just went our way from there. Now, they had a lot of good gas off the top, too. That Whirler Rogue, like I said, was really good. Their Dismember for our first tracker was very timely. I don't think they would have been really in the game without that. And of course, they put together, you know, Reflector and Thalia's Lieutenant, some good stuff, but we had some good stuff too. All of our pieces came together well. We saw a lot of good removal. Our discard effects were a little disappointing. They came at the wrong times. They blanked both times, but we had all kinds of removal, and that's really what matters, and our threats were all very good too. So it's a shame to think that we could have been sitting at 3-0 if we had managed to have a bit of better luck against Izzet Phoenix, but you know what? We had some good luck match 1 against Dredge in this series, beating Dredge at all, much less winning Game 1 against Dredge and winning the match in general without seeing much dedicated graveyard hate. Or the luck's been going both ways, right? And I feel overall like we had some reasonable luck here against the humans too, so we'll just be happy to be at 2-1, right? We'll just be happy to be at 2-1, so man, that was fun. This felt like a game where there are a lot of non-obvious decisions, maybe including some things that I could have done differently. So you guys know by now, I love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think about that. and we will leave it there. Definitely a good game, well played to the opponent, very close, very tight, but Golgari comes away with a win. So, thanks as always, everybody, for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, I would encourage you to do so. It doesn't cost you anything except a few moments of your time. And, you know, we've had good steady growth on this channel, but of course I'd love to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. That's kind of the magic number. So we're ticking up steadily over time, but the sooner we can get to that, the better. If you're not subscribed, please, I encourage you, if you're enjoying the content, to subscribe. Also to like, share, comment, and if you would like to lend me your financial support, you can visit my Patreon page, link in the description below. But let's call it there after a well-fought victory against the humans, and we will go, we'll retire for the night, rest from another long day of work, and tomorrow I'm off. I'm going to be around, so I will almost certainly be playing the final 2 games of this league for you tomorrow. So stay tuned to the channel, and I will talk to you then. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you soon.